IBM says a cyber attack on companies that distribute the COVID-19 vaccine was much larger than previously thought. The company says in 2020, hackers began working to access information about the vaccine's cold chain distribution system. That included information on how the shots were shipped. 44 companies across 14 countries were targeted in the hack, including medical equipment manufacturers and pharmaceutical firms. IBM has described the attack as a, quote, well-calibrated, complex, and precise campaign. CBSN technology reporter Dan Patterson joins me now with more. Hi there, Dan. So can you walk us through exactly how this hack worked?
Hi, Elaine. So according to the security researchers I spoke with at IBM's X-Force, they said this is a well-calibrated, complex, and precision campaign targeting the vaccine's cold chain. So that's kind of like a supply chain but for things that need to stay cold, like medicine, vaccines, and food. And a lot of the components of that cold chain are pretty diverse. So this started with a phishing attack that targeted executives and high-up officials. It targeted 44 countries, companies in 14 countries in Europe, North America, South America, and Asia. And these included a petrochemical firm, a solar energy manufacturer, several IT companies, and a department at the European Commission. So it was fairly extensive.
Well, why are hackers, Dan, targeting the vaccine supply chain, and what's the end goal?
The end goal here, Elaine, is pretty interesting. During COVID-19, we have seen this spike in cybercrime and financially motivated attacks. This does not appear to be one of those. The researchers I spoke with said that there could have been 3 total goals with this attack. But I should preface all of this by saying that the vaccine supply itself was never a target. It has not been, at least according to this report and as a part of this hack, tampered with. This was intended to disrupt distribution of the vaccine. So to prevent the vaccine from rolling out to where it needed to go and on time. There was likely a secondary goal as a part of that, kind of coupled with disrupting distribution, comes a goal of degrading confidence in, again, not the vaccine itself, but the ability to obtain the vaccine. And as this attack was first spotted and then rolling out, this was fall and into the winter of last year, a really critical time of the vaccine's development and rollout. Now, there could have been a third goal, but there's less evidence about this, and that is simply to weaken all of our confidence in the institutions that surround vaccine distribution, the public-private partnerships that protect vaccines and the cold chain.
Well, what more can you tell us, Dan, about who might be responsible?
Well, in all cybersecurity incidents, nearly every security researcher says attribution is really hard. But remember, a moment ago, I said that the evidence did not point to cybercrime. There really did not appear to be a financial motivation here. But it does appear as though this was, in their words, an operation that has the hallmarks of nation-state activity. Again, quote, "We're dealing with an adversary that has an acute understanding of the vaccine and the vaccine supply chain." So once again, a sophisticated actor who had very specific goals.
So sobering to hear these kinds of details, Dan. I mean, what kind of risk does this hack pose to our national security and public safety?
Well, I do want to reiterate, Elaine, this was not targeting the vaccine itself. We have no evidence, at least in this hack, that the vaccine was tampered with. However, security researchers say that this is pretty significant. Almost everyone I spoke to, not just the IBM security researchers, but said that it is critically important that we treat vaccines and the cold chain, the supply chain itself, that feeds critical medicine like critical infrastructure. Now, critical infrastructure are things like power lines or our water supply. And, forgive this metaphor, but the cold chain is as vulnerable. Every component of the cold chain is as vulnerable as the weakest link. And often we know that companies can be targeted, and then hackers will leap kind of laterally between using exploits that they find between different companies. So the chain is kind of an appropriate metaphor here, and we need to strengthen all components of that chain.
So given what you just spelled out, Dan, is the federal government doing anything to strengthen vulnerabilities within the vaccine supply chain to prevent something like this from happening again?
Well, we have seen kind of this information sharing between cybersecurity agencies in the federal level and private security researchers, at least at fairly large companies. And CISA, that's the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, also issued a number of very specific alerts about this and schemes, hacks, and things that are financially motivated throughout the course of the vaccine rollout. So, yeah, we are seeing partnerships, and we do know that forensic evidence or forensic investigators are kind of hacking or tracking down the potential adversaries who perpetrated this hack.
All right, Dan Patterson for us. Dan, really eye-opening information. Thanks very much.
Great to see you.